Here we have been asked to solve this rational equation. The first thing we need to notice is that not all of our denominators are in factored form. The y squared minus 36 is a difference of squares, and it will factor as y plus 6 and y minus 6. Next, we need to note what values in this case y, could not be equal. So on here, we have two basic kind of factors in our denominator. We have a y minus 6 and a y plus 6. So we would want to set both of those equal to 0 to find the values that are not legitimate in our problem. So the first value that would not be legitimate would be 6. And then the second value that would not be legitimate would be negative 6. So if I come up with either one of these two in my final solution, I would have to eliminate them. The next thing I need to do is determine my LCD. In this case, because my only two factors in the denominator are y plus 6 and y minus 6, then the LCD would be the product of those two. And I would put them over 1. Now, take your equation and multiply each term in the equation by the LCD over 1. Notice that on the right hand side, what I'll do is my original problem was not factored in the denominator, but when I multiply by the LCD, I make sure that I write my denominator on that last part in factored form. So it would be multiplied by 144 over y plus 6 and y minus 6. Okay? Once I have done this, go back and cancel the denominators that I can. So in the first term, the y minus 6's would cancel. I'd be left with a 2y and a y plus 6. The 2y would need to be distributed later, so I'm going to put the 2y in front of the y plus 6. Okay. On the next term, we notice we have a minus. We're going to cancel the y plus 6. That would leave me with a 12 and a y minus 6. So write the 12 in front and then the y minus 6 at the back. On the right side, we notice that all the denominator cancels, and so it leaves us only with the 144. Alright, from here, go ahead and distribute anything that needs to be distributed. So here we would have 2y squared plus 12y. Notice here that we're distributing not only the 12 but also the negative, so we'd have negative 12y plus 72 and then equals 144. Okay, notice that these two terms would cancel, so we'd have 2y squared plus 72 equals 144. Now, there are different ways to solve this problem. One way that I could solve this would be to subtract the 72. So we have 2y squared equals, and then 144 minus 72 is 72. We could then divide out the 2, and we would have y squared equals 36. To solve something that has a single square on it, you can take the square root of both sides. Remember that you have to put a plus and minus on the right hand side in front of your square root, since every squared value has two solutions. On the left side, your square root and your square cancel. That leaves you with just your y. And then on the right side, the square root of 36 is 6, and so you end up with plus and minus 6 as solutions. So y is equal to 6, or y is equal to negative 6. Okay, now before we say for sure that these are our answers, we have to go back and make sure that they're not values that we said y could not equal. So if we go back up, we notice we said that y could not equal 6 or negative 6. And so if we go back down, we notice that those two are actually the values that we have. So we have to eliminate both, and in this situation say no solution is actually our final answer.